What's going on, everybody? Wednesday is here. That used to mean hump day. Now it means the DFS OGs live here on ROTOGRINDERS, presented by our friends over at FanDuel. Make sure you guys are checking out all the great offerings over at FanDuel. We're going to highlight a lot of that as we go along the show, both DFS and the sportsbook. I am your host, as always, Beer, joined by my boys, my fellow OGs, Notorious and HeadChopper, coming off I want to say a lackluster all-star game. I mean, the home run derby was kind of fun, kind of a low-scoring game there in Coors Field last night. But, Noto, enjoying your all-star break? Now, I know you got a lot of golf prep that you're doing, so not much of a break for you, but how we doing, buddy?
Man, I've enjoyed an entire season of break from baseball. I haven't had to do content this year. So, right now it's smooth sailing for me, a lot of golf content, a little bit of NBA content here and there. But, home run derby, always a good time. I think it's the best all-star festivity out there right now.
That used to be the dunk contest to me, and now it's just gets watered down. You got guys you never heard of in the damn thing. So I agree. I like the home run derby. Chop, uneventful all-star game last night. I know you stepped away and took some days off. How we doing, buddy?
Doing good. It's I was telling you before the show, it's just nice to have, that everybody complains about it, and it would get old after, a week or so, but nice to have a few days where you don't have to even think about anything sports related if you don't want to. And, for me, I had my list of here's what I'm going to do, man. I got these days off. I got the power washer lined up. I'm going to power wash the front, I'm going to power wash the back. So I got some good things accomplished so far, and I still got another couple of days to knock the rest of my list out. So I'm running good here.
Well, maybe later in the show, we'll check the rest of that list. I'm interested to see. Now, is this your list or is this one of those honey-do lists?
No, this was a list I wanted to. This is personal right here. I got to do this. I got to knock this out. So I made a little list for myself of things I've been neglecting that I need to do.
Because I know personally, I pushed the power washer day. That turns into a whole day. Once I start doing the deck, I mean, you're talking 8, 10, 12 hours of just going to town with the power washer.
Because the thing about that power washer is once you connect it all up, boy, you don't want to disconnect it, then have to do all that all over again. So you might as well just knock out the whole thing when you get going, right? So I connected mine up, did the front, got a little worn out. I just left everything out and just left it all connected up, just turned the water off and the power off, and I went after it the next day to finish up the job. But I get you. Once you get that thing going, it's hard to stop because you're seeing the progress too. There's something that's really rewarding about being able to see the progress of what you're doing, man. Like you see the little lines peeling off all the mold or whatever it is. So it's pretty good stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm board by board on the deck, and you can see it. Like, okay, that board's looking good, and you go to the next one. And a couple years ago, I'm doing the deck, and you guys know I'm a flip flop guy, and it's water, it's hot out, so I'm going barefoot basically. I tell you what, I clipped my toe with the damn power washer spray. It cut through it like a knife. Like my toe's bleeding all over the damn deck. So word of caution, don't try to do a power washing barefoot. At least don't power wash your own damn foot in the process. But we will talk more home improvement tips here along the way as we go. Try to keep you guys out of the ER. But the plan for today, we'll recap the All-Star game. We'll kind of take a look ahead to the second half of the baseball season, give you some of our favorite bets, futures bets that we see in the FanDuel Sportsbook. We will take a look at Game 4 in the NBA here tonight as well. Big showdown here with Phoenix and Milwaukee. We saw the Bucks get back in the series, big win in Game 3. So we'll take a look and see what edges we can find, both betting-wise and DFS-wise. And, of course, big golf tournament this weekend. So Derek is going to give us some of his favorite plays, favorite bets for the golf tournament. Is it the Open Championship? Seems like you can't call it the British Open anymore, Derek. What's the official lingo here now for this tournament?
Yeah, British Open's off the table. Got to be the Open Championship. I don't know why, but it's the Open.
Open Championship it is. So we will talk that as well. And, of course, mix in some life stuff. Again, make sure you guys are checking out FanDuel.com, Sportsbook, DFS, Casino, everything right at your fingertips. And we'll kind of highlight some of their big tournaments here along the way. So, guys, let's start with baseball. We kind of hit on it. Big home run derby. We saw Pete Alonso defend his home run crown. Pretty entertaining there. I thought Trey Mancini, who was the biggest underdog in the field, I believe, really made a run at it, thought he was going to take it down. Alonso goes nuts there in the last few minutes, so he takes that down. Then the All-Star game, mentioned it, kind of ho-hum. Vladimir Guerrero hit an absolute bomb, almost destroyed and decapitated Max Scherzer on that one. So he was the MVP of the game. So, Derek, thoughts on the All-Star weekend? Thoughts going forward here with baseball? I know you said you're kind of not doing content for baseball, but are you seeing anything here in the betting markets in the FanDuel Sportsbook? Any teams that you think can make a run here? Just quick thoughts here on the weekend and looking forward here in MLB.
Yeah, very much watching from afar this year. So I don't have any strong takes for you. I was hoping you guys would give me some bets and I could make them on my end.
There you go. Chop, let's go over to you. Baseball. So your thoughts on the weekend, thoughts on the All-Star game. Is this an event you sit down, you watch it all? Is it just kind of on in the background? Like, where are you at here with the All-Star game? Because not my favorite All-Star game, I'll tell you that. I think the NBA All-Star game to me is the most entertaining of the actual All-Star games.
I was most All-Star games for me are just on in the background. They're just not, there's just not, if there were stakes, on them, then it'd be different, but it's just an exhibition. So most All-Star games are in the background. In the NBA, I will sit down and watch a little bit. Do enjoy that a little bit more than the others. Home Run Derby was awesome. I pegged Pete Alonso, man. Like, this is weird stuff right here, but I started reading about batting practice, the pitchers they were going to use, each one of these guys. So I was like, man, there's a little edge here, man. And I was like, well, Soto, I read he was going to do a lefty on lefty bat. And I was like, oh, I don't like, let me mark him off the list. And you got, another guy had a catcher, a former catcher throwing in BP. I was like, I don't know if that's going to be good. Let's mark him off the list. But got down to Alonso. He checked all the boxes, man. Then I heard his interview before the contest and how he had a game plan. And he wasn't like, I was like, oh, this guy's going to smash the field. So I hit on my Alonso props, man. So I was good with that one. That was a fun competition. The game itself, man, I probably saw about 30 minutes total of it, just on there. But now these guys get a couple more days of rest, and then they go back to work. Looking forward to the second half of MLB season. It's always better. You always enjoy that sports season a little bit more when the team you root for is competitive and doing real well. And being an Astros guy, we're in the thick of it. If I'm laying out my finals right now, I think the Dodgers are going to get there from the National League. I think the Astros got what it takes to get there in the American League. I think they got just enough to edge out. I don't even think the Yankees are going to make it, and I thought that was going to be the biggest competition this year. The Yankees probably going to not even make the playoffs. So, there's a couple good teams. The White Sox are good, the Red Sox are good, but I think the Astros could take them down. It'll be really good. So I got the Dodgers versus the Astros in the World Series. As far as bets, I got one that I think is interesting, and that's the National League Cy Young Award because DeGrom's such a heavy favorite. So I'm gonna go another route. Now I'm gonna go Kevin Gausman, and he's plus 1,500 on FanDuel to win the Cy Young in the National League. So this is a bet on DeGrom maybe being a little banged up at some point, and like he's had his shoulder issues so far. And what if he misses some significant time and they can mark him off the list for potential candidates? Then it's a free-for-all. Then you've got the two Milwaukee guys, Burns and Woodruff, who might draw votes from each other. And then you've got Gausman sitting there on a team that's overachieving, could win the division, and that could be enough to push him to a Cy Young Award if DeGrom were to get hurt, which I don't wish that on anybody. It's just at 15 plus 1,500. That's big time. So that's my bet for you is DeGrom plus 1,500 for the National League Cy Young. I like the Dodgers versus the Astros. It's a homer pick, but I think they got some depth there, man. Good starting lineup, some good depth at starting pitcher. I'm going to shift a couple guys to the bullpen in the playoffs. That's going to help. So Dodgers versus Astros in 6.
All right. I like that you narrowed it down to 6 because I was going to get on you here. I mean, you picked the two favorites, Chop. I mean, we didn't go very deep into the odds here. I mean,
that's not fair, man. Because
I'm just reading the odds here. I see plus 400 on the Dodgers, plus 450 on the Astros.
The Astros were
Those
like
the top two. Like
They were a lot longer odds here, maybe a month and a half ago, and then all of a sudden they start to look like the cream of the crop. So, but I was on them way back then, man. Come on now.
All right, let's take a quick look at the standings just to kind of give everybody an idea if you haven't checked it out. So we got Boston leading the way in the AL East, Tampa Bay right behind them. Chop, you mentioned the Yankees, Toronto as well, both 8 games back there, but both teams 3 games over 500. So I think they're all still in play there. Chicago kind of running away with the Central here. You mentioned the White Sox been very good this season. 8 games up on Cleveland, pretty much the only contender there in the Central. Your Astros leading the West. Oakland, always a team that seems to hang on and be around no matter what. So they're 3.5 back. Seattle, surprisingly, only 7 back, a record over 500. National League, we got the Mets leading the way in the East, but pretty tight division race there. Philly, Atlanta, and Washington pretty much still in the mix. Only 6 games back are the Nationals. 3.5 for Philly, 4 games back for Atlanta. My Brewers went on a little bit of a run there, kind of stumbled into the All-Star break, but leading the Central by 4 games over Cincinnati. And then you have the surprise team, I think, here of the season, the Giants leading the way out west, 57-32. I believe that's the best record in all of baseball. The Dodgers right there, 2 games back in San Diego, still in the hunt, 6 games back. So still pretty wide open here as far as the playoffs go. I'm going to give you a homer pick as well, Chop. If you're going to pick Houston, I got to go with my Brewers here, 13-1 in the FanDuel Sportsbook. My worry is offensively. You look at that lineup, and you kind of want to throw up in your mouth a little bit, but you mentioned the pitching, some stud pitchers, a Hader in the bullpen, so they have the pitching, and that to me is what wins in the playoffs. You can pitch these guys on shorter rest, so if we can get in there, set up the rotation right, I think obviously the Dodgers a big domino that you'd have to hop over, but I do like the Brewers, and I like that you went to the NL Cy Young. That's exactly where I was looking as well, and not going to go with a Brewer. I agree with your point. I think those guys will kind of cannibalize each other. Zach Wheeler has been lights out this season, so he's sitting at plus 1,800, and the same. DeGrom probably wins this award most time than not, but he gets hurt, something happens, they shut him down, who knows? Wheeler has been fantastic this season, so he's a guy I don't mind throwing a few dollars on at these long odds. So anything else baseball-wise, Chop? Thoughts for the second half? Derek, do you want to add anything here? Are we ready to move on to we'll go to golf next. Any final thoughts here for baseball before we move on?
Yeah, I got one take. Take this with a grain of salt for sure, but I like the Padres a little bit. Look at their odds, plus 850 to win the World Series. Clearly they've been banged up, but just their pitching staff's awesome. Darvish, Musgrove, Snell, Dinelson, Lamet, Paddock. We know their offense is great with Tatis. I don't mind them to win their division. Right now they are trailing quite a ways. You'd have to catch the Dodgers as well as the Giants, like you mentioned. But I kind of think the Giants will tail off here in the second half. And, yeah, I just think this team has a ton of talent, and as soon as they get healthy, they're going to make some runs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest challenge is the division. I can't see San Francisco continuing at this pace. I mean, the Dodgers are going to be there, but I like that call. I think that's the toughest point, those jumping 2 teams, but only 6 games back. So plenty of time to make up some ground here and plenty of star power, like you mentioned, the pitching. Don't hate that call at all. Chop, any final thoughts here for MLB?
I think I got it all out.
All right, let's move on to golf. The Open Championship, big weekend of golf. Derek, final major of the season, correct?
Final major, unfortunately, until next April.
All right, so give the people kind of the layout here, the course, what are we looking for, and then just go into some of your favorite plays here on FanDuel for the weekend, DFS-wise, and maybe some bets as well here in the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Yeah, so the Open Championship switch courses each and every year. It's played at Royal St. George's this year. It hasn't been played here since 2011. It should be an awesome course. You look at pictures of it, just mounds all over the place, in the fairway, on the greens. True links course, really deep pop bunkers. So you're going to have a lot of good shots that get bad bounces. And it's going to be pretty windy, at least on Thursday and Friday. So I think it's going to be pretty tough. I think it should be awesome. It actually starts at 11:30 my time, so 1:30 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're listening to this on Wednesday night, make sure to lock your lineups before you go to sleep because you'll wake up and be tilting already. But, yeah, it should be fun. As far as the stuff I'm looking for, I actually wrote a betting trends article based on the past Open Championship winners. The last 10 have had a win or 2 top 5s in their last 10. The last 10 have had at least 3 Open starts. They weren't repeat champions. They had a top 11 at the Open. They were inside the top 55 in the official World Golf rankings, and they teed it up the week before. So that leaves us with 4 guys, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Jon Rahm, Ian Poulter. Jon Rahm, overwhelming favorite this week. If you look at the numbers on the FanDuel Sportsbook, 8-1. That's actually one of the better numbers that you'll find out there. But that's too short for me in terms of a golf outright. But I like Rory at 22-1. I don't mind that. JT's at 18-1. And then Ian Poulter, kind of my long shot pick for the week, is sitting at, what is he at?
Well, 7,000.
7,000. So that was at 110 earlier in the week when I got it. But still, I like that, 70-1. And then my other long shot is Stuart Sink, old man Sink. He's already won twice. He's won 30-1. He has an Open Championship win in his career. So I like him as a really long shot. And you can also bet him, top 5, top 10. You don't have to just take the super long outrights. As far as DFS goes, it's hard not to start lineups with Rahm. I think the last time we talked about an event, it was the Rocket Mortgage, and we said you can't make a lineup without Bryson. And then him and his caddy ended up getting in a fight. The caddy quit, and he missed the cut. So I suppose there are scenarios where Rahm's not up there, but he almost won the Memorial where he had to withdraw due to COVID, and then he won the U.S. Open. Probably should have won last week at the Scottish Open as well. So he's in incredible form. I like him quite a bit. And you just want me to keep rambling on?
Oh, I want to ask you how many damn people are in this thing, because I'm scanning through the odds and I don't seem to ever get to the end of the page here. So how many golfers are we talking? I think a lot of people, what does the cut look like? A lot of people are always wondering, you want to get all your golfers through the cut. Sometimes people aren't clear what the cut is. I think it's different in a lot of different tournaments. So maybe lay that out for the people just so when they're watching, I know it changes and fluctuates as you go, but how does the cut work on this tournament?
Yeah, so 156 golfers in the field. So, quite a few, one of the bigger fields you'll see all year. Top 70 in ties make the cut. Typical PGA Tour tournament is top 65 in ties. So you'll see a few more golfers make the cut, depending on what the number ends up being. I kind of expect the cut to be over par. So if your guys start out struggling a little bit, I wouldn't get too worried about it. A lot of time to make it up. And again, the weather here can change on a dime. If you want to build lineups based on tee times, I certainly don't mind it. I would kind of build some tee time stacks, target 6 guys in the morning, build another lineup, target 6 guys in the afternoon, because you just don't know when those wind gusts are going to hit. Right now, it kind of looks pretty consistent throughout the first 2 days. But this championship, more than any other, you're going to see some big differences in tee time waves.
And we have some great tools over at ROTOGRINDERS to help out with this lineup HQ. You can group your golfers together, build those stacks up, make life easy on you. You guys are hearing my voice, and I don't even know if you're going to, by the time you guys hear this, but the tournaments are filling up very, very quickly at FanDuel. So as we are recording, it's close, about 4,000 spots left in the big $450,000 tournament. That's a $9 entry. There's a single entry. There's a couple hundred left at $5. There's a big 555 monster there, has about 90 spots left. So hopefully you guys hear this, you get your lineups in right away. Like Derek said, this baby's going to fill up early. I'm sure they'll run more, but these are the biggest contests that they will have. So if there's spots, get in them early. You can always reserve the spot, come back to it, and work on the lineup later. So don't forget you have that option on FanDuel. Chop, will you be partaking in any golf this weekend? I know you've had some close calls with the golf over the course of your career. So thoughts here on the tournament, how you attacking this thing?
Yeah, this is definitely going to partake in this one, because this kind of like, you got nothing but, we're doing this on Wednesday. We've got nothing but time on Wednesday to make lineups. And so usually it's kind of I don't want to say a burden, but you get different sports going on. It's tougher. It gets all its own venue. So yeah, I'll be partaking in that. I like same guy I like at every major, and especially the Open, where it's link style course and weather's involved and elements. Always, never fails. Go with Oosthuizen, Louis Oosthuizen, man. Okay. You got to go with some Oosthuizen.
I thought you were going Brooks there.
Brooks is also, he's the major guy. Here's the thing about this one. I don't know where his head's at. Like I saw an interview with him the other day, and he's complaining about the course. Some of these guys don't want to be there.
Don't listen. He does it before every major.
Okay.
He likes to set himself up as an underdog, so that people write about him, say he can't win, and then he posts it. It's like his own bulletin board material. I don't understand the guy, but
all right. Well, Brooks plus 1,600. So he's actually the second highest odds behind John Rahm. Chop, your boy Louis Oosthuizen plus 3,000 here. So he's about top 8, top 10 here in the odds as well.
Yeah, I like Brooks is definitely always in play, but Oosthuizen always kind of sits around there at that mid-range salary and just always delivers. So some of these guys are just going to get run off this course this week big time, like put up some pretty bad numbers. And so I think you want guys who are really can just handle all the elements. I think Oosthuizen can do that, and we'll see, man. That's where I'm going now, Derek.
Yeah,
this is like going to be a thing where I don't want to scare people, but there's going to be a lot of people in the crowd, and they're doing COVID testing every day, right? So we could get some guys absolutely get dropped out of this thing like mid-tournament based on COVID results, right?
Yeah, we certainly could tap into, obviously, to John Rahm a couple months ago, and he was up by 6 strokes after the end of the 3rd round. So it's certainly possible. I know, like, the guys can't even, share houses together or anything like that. They're being super strict on all the rules. So some of the caddies are, like, struggling to even find places to stay because they typically all stay together. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. A lot of the golfers are complaining about having to do all these extra, loopholes or, hoops to jump through. But yeah, it should be a fun tournament. Does
that factor into your projections, man?
I mean, I don't have a COVID projection in there, but it's something to watch out for. I mean, if anything, just don't go like 100% on one golfer.
Well, this week. There's some guys though, you gotta like, they're going to be testing mid-tournament. Well, I can't have DJ because DJ is going to be out there on Saturday night looking for his hookup, and like, you never know. So yeah, some of these guys kind of raise a red flag, but I don't know, man.
Fell down the stairs. It's still one of my favorite stories. So Derek, you're telling me Brooks and Bryson won't be sharing a house this week here at the Open?
No, I don't think so. And Brooks actually said, because Bryson, a lot is going on with him right now. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers, by the way. We talked about that a little bit last week, but he carried Bryson in that match. But anyway, Brooks was saying, hey, he's going to be in the final pairing on Sunday. So if Bryson wants to meet him there, he'll certainly go for it. But yeah, I don't like Bryson this week at all.
Plus 3,500 on Bryson. I mean, I know he's struggling a little bit, and you said it. My quarterback carried him on that golf course, but not bad odds there. And as become tradition here with the OGs, I have to ask, can I interest you guys in Phil Mickelson? Plus 8,500 for the old guy.
Hey, Chop, you still owe me $10 from that last one.
What happened?
Or is that somebody else? Maybe that was my golf show I was on.
He's trying to collect from you, Chop.
I mean, you might want to refresh my memory there.
Just send it. I'll refresh your memory later. But
you owe me for something. Just send it on over. We'll figure it out. Somebody wanted to bet on Phil, and I just said, I'll be your bookie. Send me your money. You did say that. I don't think anybody took you up on that, though. Okay. I'm just here to ask the questions. So, Chop, any interest? Phil Mickelson, plus 8,500.
No, I don't think so. I think Phil's kind of like doing his thing. He won his major here a couple months ago. Now he's out there golfing with Aaron Rodgers and the boys. He's just chilling. I don't think he'll be very long for this course this weekend.
All right, so again, head over to FanDuel. Tons of ways that you can bet this tournament. Golf betting, some of the best betting there is. You can bet by the hole. Different matchups between golfers you can seek out. And we have tons of content over at RotoGrinders to get you ready. Front page loaded up with articles, videos. Derek does a video highlighting his model each and every week, so must-see TV there. And again, get your lineups in. As soon as you're hearing this, you're putting lineups in if you're not in there already. Should be a fun tournament over there on FanDuel. Nice 4-day sweat for you here in the golf. All right, let's go to the NBA here, guys. We got Game 4 on tap tonight. We should have time. You guys should hear this. You got plenty of time to react to it, but we're back in Milwaukee. Let's take a look at the odds here. I believe it's Bucks minus 4.5. Let me refresh here from the golf page. Yeah, Bucks minus 4.5. A little bit of juice there at minus 112. Total at 221 here in the FanDuel Sportsbook. And I don't know that we've brought this up. Maybe we have, but the same game parlays over there are a lot of fun. Putting together a bunch of different things. I know parlays, not the way to go. You can lose some money on parlays, but it's one of those you can win some money if you put the right things together. And you can put scoring, rebounding, three-pointers. You can mix it with the spread, the total of the game. Just a ton of different ways to do it. So very innovative. Make sure you guys go and check that out. A lot of fun there with the same game parlays. But Chop, let's start with you here in the NBA tonight. We saw Milwaukee respond, get it done at home. Line very similar to what it was in Game 3. So let's stay with the betting aspect of things. We'll get into the DFS portion of it here shortly. But how do you think this plays out tonight? Is it another win for Milwaukee? Kind of one walking away there in the second half. Does Phoenix respond? Your thoughts here, and a little preview here for Game 4 tonight.
It's an interesting dynamic because Phoenix has had some really good killer instinct in these playoffs. They were swept the Nuggets. He could have given up a game to the Nuggets there in Game 3 or 4 and still coasted, but they swept them, got them out of there. First series, they smelled blood with no Anthony Davis, and they pounded the Lakers off the court. Then they went out there and took care of that last game against the Clippers. So they've shown some good killer instinct, but I think tonight I'm going Milwaukee. I like Milwaukee I think that these two teams are really, really close, like really even. And so I think the deciding factor in these games is going to be home court advantage. Milwaukee obviously plays better at home, but role players typically play better. But in this case, Middleton plays a lot better at home. He's going to get it done. And I'll give you a bet. The bet I like is not necessarily for tonight, but the bet I like is Milwaukee plus 1.5, minus 134 right now in this series. So that means if Milwaukee wins this series, we win that bet. If this thing goes 7 games, you win that bet. I think this thing's going 7 games. Now, Phoenix, like I said, killer instinct, but I don't think they get it done tonight. I think this thing's going 7 games. I think the home team's just going to keep winning back and forth until Game 7. Then it'll be a toss-up. So I'm going Milwaukee plus 1.5 for the series. I think they're going to push this thing at least 7 games, if not win this thing outright.
All right, and there's a lot of ways that you can bet. If you think it's going 7, I mean, you could take the Bucks plus 200, Phoenix sitting at minus 270. That's just to win the series. But if you think Bucks in 7, plus 460 on a 4-3 Bucks series win. So even if Phoenix wins at 4-3, plus 240 on that. So some nice odds there. You mentioned the spread. There's also just to go 7 games plus 120 here in the sports book. So a lot of different avenues that you could take. I'm with you here, and I'm trying to leave my homerism out of it, but you nailed it. This is a much better team at home. The energy of that crowd can really feed you and thrive. And Middleton, Holiday, both play better at home. Giannis has been a beast. You're seeing guys step up. Last game it was Bobby Portis. Connaughton's had his moments where he stepped up. So I just think the crowd, the electricity, the atmosphere, I think they do even this thing out, and I think they win once again by double digits in this game. So I don't mind the 4.5 in this one. Total seems right about where it should be. Don't really want to mess with that. Both teams can really clamp it down defensively, but I agree. I think betting on the Bucks right now, you're getting good value on that. Can they go on the road, though? I know we're assuming a win here. Need to even this up. If it's 3-1, they go back to Phoenix, they're going to be in trouble. So really a big spot here for Milwaukee, and I think they respond once again here tonight. So, Derek, thoughts on the betting markets here, on the series? Anything that's really standing out in your eyes here tonight?
Yeah, there's been a common theme throughout our shows over the years. When us three agree on something, that hits pretty often. I think in the NFL, I can't remember what it was last year, but pretty good, pretty profitable when all three of us agree. So I do like Milwaukee as well. You guys mentioned the home teams had the edge each of the first 3 games. We haven't had a close game either. It's been decided by 13, 10, and 20 points so far. And you mentioned it, the home crowd. I think Holiday and Middleton are both going to play better. They both shot the ball really poorly so far in this series. So, yeah, I like them to cover the spread. I like the over in the game as well. Each of the last 2 games were projected to go over until the fourth quarter, and they both turned into blowouts. both the benches ended up clearing. And then, you know what happens when you get a bunch of scrubs out there, they just don't put up points. So I like the over. I like the Bucks. And then as far as series props go, I love Chops plus 1.5 on the Bucks. I do think this goes 7. I also don't mind just betting, 7 games at plus 120. And then, Bucks 4-3. That's certainly interesting. I get the feeling that we're going to see the home team win the first 6, and then it's kind of just all up for grabs in Game 7.
I like that 4-3. I mean, you're getting good odds on that. I mean, obviously we need a win tonight, or it makes that road a lot more difficult, but pretty nice price on that. So let's transition to DFS here tonight. We know FanDuel doing a big once again here for Game 4. We have a $750,000 Wednesday NBA Game 4 final shot. So $9.99 entry on that. There's also a $200,000 tournament with a lesser buy-in at just $4.44. And we know there's bigger buy-ins, $44, a $333. Tons of satellites as well. I'm seeing some NFL satellites in the lobby, which gets me excited. NFL season right around the corner. And, of course, we will be back with our weekly breakdowns during the NFL season, game by game, looking at some of the best fantasy plays and some of our favorite bets each and every week. But tonight, DFS-wise, Derek, let's stay with you. FanDuel, we know that Giannis has been a monster. We know that he has the highest ceiling of anybody on the slate. We know the projections have Giannis far and away the leader here in fantasy points production for tonight. Can we possibly make a lineup without Giannis in the MVP? If yes, who is that guy that goes in the MVP? If no, how do we get different from everybody else in this tournament? We've talked about this many a times. Tons and tons of entries here. We're talking almost 90,000 entries, with a lot of them using Giannis in that spot. So if he is going to be in your MVP spot, how do we make things different? Who are some guys that you maybe want to bump up into those top 3 spots?
So obviously there's a very small chance that he gets into foul trouble or that re-injures his knee, whatever it may be. But Giannis is by far my favorite MVP. It's hard not to start lineups with him. I think the one guy that could potentially rival him in terms of fantasy upside is Chris Paul. We've seen some big games out of Devin Booker, but he relies so much on scoring that it worries me a little bit. Chris Paul is one of those guys. He can come out and get 38 and 12 assists. So he can fill up the stat sheet. I like that a little bit more than a guy that just relies on scoring like Booker when it comes to upside. So Paul would be the only guy I would take a chance on at the MVP if you're not going Giannis. And then to get a little different, I think naturally people will just put Paul or Booker at the star, and then Middleton and the other Paul or Booker at the pro. I kind of like going down to Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton. Ayton was on pace for 40 minutes last game. Picked up his 3rd foul with like 20 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter. Picked up his 4th foul right in the start of the 3rd quarter, and then picked up his 5th foul right when he got back in. So he's been a monster during the playoffs. He's been 22 and 19 in the first game. He's a guy that can get a lot of blocks and steals. We know they're worth more on FanDuel. So I like Ayton quite a bit. Holiday just hasn't shot the ball well. We saw him, kind of come alive against the Hawks. So maybe some home cooking can get him going a little bit. And then my sleeper for the utility is going to be PJ Tucker, a guy that we've known for many years. 35 minutes and 3 fantasy points is something that we've become accustomed to. But he's out there. He's quietly scored double-digit fantasy points in 11 straight. So you're not getting, 6 or 7 fantasy points out of him. And he's going to get some open shots. So if he knocks him down, I think he could end up in the optimal.
Yeah, we're on the same page here. Tucker, we don't need to spend much time on. He's cheap, plays a lot of minutes. I agree with you. Can he hit a few of those corner threes, not hit the side of the backboard? He should be fine. But he's in there mixing it up. So always a candidate for some rebounds, some steals, and playing that many minutes. We would hope he can get to 20 fantasy points. So I know he's not hitting many ceilings, but I agree there. Love the Ayton call. I mean, this guy's put up a ton of numbers in just 24 minutes. We've seen him been dominant in the series. We know Brook Lopez, not a guy that's going to bang and get involved down low. So Ayton should be able to gobble up the rebounds if he can stay out of foul trouble. Speaking of Brook Lopez, don't hate him either here tonight. I think a lot of people are going to go away from him. We saw Bobby Portis step in, play more of a role when they wanted to go smaller. We'll see if that continues tonight. It's a little bit of a worry that it worked. Maybe they stick with it. Maybe we get more Bobby Portis, but I'm not expecting a lot of ownership tonight on Brook Lopez. We know he can have some big games as well. And I echo your thoughts on Chris Paul as well. I mean, he can get it done a lot of different ways, triple-double upside that Booker doesn't have. So I like Ayton and Paul a little bit more than Devin Booker tonight. He's got to score 40 points to really be the optimal guy. And I think Ayton, out of all the big six, probably the less owned of everybody, especially coming off that last game. People may be scared away. So moving him into a multiplier spot, I think could be a way to get different there with DeAndre Ayton. If you are going Giannis, if you're going MVP, I agree. I don't see how it can't be Giannis or Chris Paul. We've seen Drew Holiday have some good upside, so he could be an option in one of those top two spots. But really like DeAndre Ayton. He's the guy I'm kind of planting my flag on here tonight to have a big game. All right, Chop, let's go over to you. Same questions. We know Giannis is going to be very popular in that captain build. Can you do it without him? If so, who are some of your MVP spot guys you're throwing in there? If you are using Giannis, how are you getting different from 90,000 people tonight?
Yeah, I think you probably got to use him on FanDuel. Pains me to say you got to eat that chalk, but I think you do, because that first game, the only guy that even rivaled him in any of these games was just game one, and that was just Chris Paul. Other than that, he's been by far easily the leading scorer in these games. I don't expect it to change tonight, so you're not going to win if he does even remotely what he should, and nobody else has this incredible game. So I think he's the guy, but you can get different in the other spots. I'm kind of the same boat as you guys, is what I was thinking coming into this, was Drew Holiday and DeAndre Ayton. Maybe I can just get rid of Middleton out of my thing, get rid of Booker, get rid of CP3, because you don't have all that salary anyway. Let me just play Drew and Ayton in those next two spots, and I could even do another team where I flip-flop them. Ayton, even with that foul trouble in only 24 minutes of the last game, put up 18 and 9. Like, he's been unstoppable this series when he's been on the court. So let's just assume they got a smart coach over there. They figure some things out, get him freed up some more, and then he puts up another big game and a little bit lower ownership. And then Drew Holiday is my pick for Milwaukee to click next to Giannis tonight. So, and then that leaves you with enough money to play around with those last two spots, shift and shuffle through some guys, because you just never know if it is Tucker or if it is Cam Johnson, or maybe it's the Bobby Portis. Maybe we get Brook Lopez into foul trouble and Bobby Portis is the guy, and you can afford him. And so I'd shuffle around those last two spots. But I think my core would be Giannis up top. That'd be a lock button, MVP Giannis. And I'm flip-flopping Drew and Ayton a couple different ways, and then shuffling through some of your second and third players, like secondary players like that, and hope you get lucky and hit the nuts.
Chop, is there anybody that we can throw in one of these spots that's not the big six? And obviously we're talking Giannis, Middleton, Holiday. We're talking Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton. We've seen Lopez have some decent games. We've seen Jay Crowder play very well finally these last couple games. Is that just getting too cute with not putting one of these six in those top three spots? Or is there somebody we could slide in there that you feel okay about?
I wouldn't feel good about anybody in if I'm leaving, bumping them for one of those tops. I wouldn't feel good about it. The only guy that remotely would pique my interest is Jay Crowder in that pro spot, just because, if he goes out there and he puts up 30 and Booker struggles and CP3 struggles, and maybe it's a blowout, and that those 30 points are the high for Phoenix tonight or something like that, you could get there. But otherwise, yeah, I think it is getting kind of – FanDuel is not, a complicated showdown game. You don't have to overthink it too much. I think that the difference between, tying a lot of people and then, tying very few people is just the simple flipping of your pro and star spot, and that could get you there and do it. And then pairing that up with, a really weird play, in your utility spot that might get, like, I don't know, maybe Jeff Teague scores you 12 points tonight, but that 12 points is enough combined with the salary he frees up to get you a really, like a Mikal Bridges or something, whatever. I haven't done the salary cap yet, but something like that, and that gets you there. So it should be a little bit unique in those other spots, but you don't want to tamper too much outside of that top six with the MVP star and pro spot.
Derek, got anybody feel okay bumping up into the top three ranks here, or are you just picking out of that big six for your three multipliers? Uh-oh.
Oh, buddy.
Our first mute button of the new season. It took us 3 weeks to have a mute guy. So that's a new. We're getting better in that department.
Oh man, yeah, you guys were just talking so long. I just had to sitting on mute there for a while. But
you looked passionate too. You were bringing it on mute. I mean, if you're not watching the video, Derek had some killer insights. So let's see if he can bring it here again now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, large field tournaments, you're concerned about, 1, building good lineups, 2, trying to get unique. If you don't use one of those first 6 in your MVP, Pro, or Star, you're going to get unique, but it's not going to be a good lineup. So I don't think I could do it. I do think Tucker is going to be my favorite kind of off-the-radar guy. But, yeah, I kind of like the idea of putting Giannis at MVP, following it up with 2 Suns in the next 2. Just because, you hope Giannis does everything for the Bucks, and so that's going to, put him at the MVP. And then if it's a close game, you kind of want those next 2 guys from the Suns. So I kind of like the idea of doing that if you're not going Drew.
Yeah, I think a lot of people Bucks are going to win. They're the favorite. I got to have 2 Bucks up here. So that could be another way to, it's really hard to get different here, but just get a little different where you're not splitting it with 2,000 people. Maybe it's, a handful of people, and, that number looks a lot better at the end of the night. So, should be another fun game here tonight. Again, make sure you guys get those entries in. You can always reserve them, come back to them later. But hopefully, if one of us isn't talking, show it out and win. One of you guys take it down. So best of luck to everybody in the NBA tonight over on FanDuel. All right, we got a few minutes left. So we always like to mix in some life stuff, some non-sports stuff. If you guys have been with us over the years, we know we like to have a good time here on the show. If you're new, welcome. We'll want to make it a little bit more lighthearted. We want to bring you the analysis and all that, of course. But let's talk it's summertime, so we've had some time to sit around. And, we don't all have a to-do list like Chop. Some of us, want to sit back and watch some shows, some movies. So, guys, any advice for the people? Any shows that you want to recommend for the people? We know we have Netflix. We have Hulu. We have Disney Plus. We got Apple TV now. We got stuff everywhere, all different shows, movies coming out of left and right. So, Derek, any good recommendations here that you've seen for the people? It could be an old show, some of your favorite stuff, something new you're watching. Give the people some stuff to watch here while we got these summer days. We can just hang out and watch TV, Netflix and chill, as the kids like to say.
Yeah, let me make sure I'm not on mute. All right. So I'm excited for this segment because I'm always looking for new shows. I'm constantly Googling like top shows, whatever. So I recently watched Loki on Disney Plus. That was awesome. I'm not a big Marvel guy, but that was a pretty cool show. I recently watched Schitt's Creek. I didn't think I would like it, but I thought that was a very good show. I watched Big Brother. Can't believe you guys don't like Big Brother. And then the show I'm watching right now is called The Expanse on Amazon. It's a space show. I don't know if you guys like alien shows, that kind of stuff in the future. It's pretty cool. There's 5 seasons. I'm on like the 4th season right now. I've breezed through them pretty quickly. So I'm excited to hear what you guys have to offer.
No, I saw it. You said Schitt's Creek. Chop nodded along. I tried. I don't know that if I've not gotten far enough into the show yet, if I've just, and I'm usually, that's my kind of humor. I mean, I just want to sit there and have a good laugh, and I'm just not getting there in Schitt's Creek. So, Chop, you got to sell me on this, or I gave up. I'm probably a season and a half in, and
man, if you're a season and a half in and it's not and the humor's not jumping out to you, then it's probably not for you. You move on. You don't want the old television show fallacy where you just keep chasing episode, and then all of a sudden you're pot committed after 4 seasons and you got to write it. No, if you don't like it after 1.5, that's the humor it brings. I like it. I'm on season 4 right now. We're whipping through we just started 2 weeks ago. We're whipping through 2-3 episodes a night, me and my wife. So I think it's funny. It's got good humor. It's well acted. The guys who are in there are doing their job real well. So I like Schitt's Creek. We're on that one right now. I just started Ted Lasso.
Oof.
Heard that's good.
So good.
Yeah, I just started that one. So so far so good. I like that. So I'm on that. I like to watch a lot of shows. I've been trying to get so many shows. I can't even get to the Disney stuff yet. So we knocked out WandaVision a while back, but I haven't even got to Loki and the the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I only got through a few of those so far. So much stuff on the queue, but movies, man. Y'all been to I went to the theater for the first time about a week and a half ago. First time in a long time.
I have not been in a while. So what did we go see? I mean, did we do it right? The only thing
that could pull me out to the movie theater, a little Fast and Furious franchise. Okay. Man. I saw the F9, buddy boy. That's excitement right there.
Now that's John Cena's in and The Rock is out, right? They're just swapping wrestlers here. Is that?
Yeah, pretty much. They okay. Cena's in this one. The Rock had to take a break. He'll be back though for some of the future stuff. But again, yeah, I mean, I know, I get it. I'm not going to name names, but there are some guys who, that's so corny. They can't really jump cars, and they want this Academy Award boring stuff. I get it. I'm not going to name names, Dean, but. The thing is sometimes you just want to go to the movie theater and you just want to be entertained, man. And you just want to walk out feeling good, knowing that no, that's not going to happen in real life. But that was fun. I root for these guys. They're family, so I enjoyed it. I enjoy them all, though. I'm a big Fast and Furious franchise guy.
Are 90% of movies not a little bit creative, a little bit out there? Like maybe that number's even too low. So. I don't know what the expectations are here, Dean, but I stopped at you said F9, so I'll call it F2. I think F2 is as far as I got. Derek, are you more? Are you up to 9 here? Or are you more down at my end, down at F2?
So I got out before they went to Tokyo and started drifting. I don't know what number that was, but I was just looking at the Rotten Tomatoes, 82%. So people like the F9. I'm impressed by that. And yeah, I've been to the movie theaters a bunch. Anytime something comes out, my little one loves going to the movies. So I haven't seen an adult movie at a theater in years, but we take in some beers, get some popcorn. It's a great time.
So I'm waiting on a lot of my shows to come back. Some of my favorites that are on pause right now: Ozark on Netflix, to me, must-see TV. Stranger Things season 4, I believe it is, and I'm usually not a huge sci-fi guy, but I love the 80s throwback in that show. Just the music and the clothes and the hair, and it's perfect for anyone our age. And then one that I never thought I'd get into. Another thing, I'm not a big Western guy, but Yellowstone is fantastic. If you have not watched that yet, Kevin Costner, I believe they have 3 or 4 seasons of that in the books, and that you can find on the Peacock app. But that's some great TV there. So those are some of the ones I'm kind of waiting on right now. I've done some rewatches of Friday Night Lights, Sons of Anarchy, 2 of my favorite all-time shows. So, but those ones waiting to come back. So, any other thoughts here? Derek, any movies? I feel like I haven't watched a movie in forever here.
Excited for Space Jam. I think it comes out tomorrow or on Friday. So that should be fun with the kiddos. Yeah, you guys need to give Big Brother a shot. There's only 2 episodes in, easy to catch up. Just give it a shot.
Okay, you got to sell us better than that. I mean, they're on like season 50 or something. So I feel like I'm 20 seasons behind. I know each one is unique and it's a different house, different characters. So can I just jump in now and be up to date?
Yeah, I mean, it's only 2 episodes in. There's probably like 50 episodes per season or whatever. But it's 3 times a week. But Chop, yeah, F9. So you're used to a long-running series, obviously. Big Brother's been around for years. So obviously it's a pretty good show. But yeah, a lot of the DFS community seems to like it. It's just, your reality TV competition shows, obviously going to be some drama in there. But yeah, it's a good time. In the summer, there's not a lot to watch. Like you mentioned, a lot of the shows are off right now. So just give it a shot.
Chop, you seem like a Big Brother guy. I'm shocked that you don't watch this.
I've watched Big Brother in the past. Mike Boogie. I remember back in the day. I was watching them back in the day. Then your taste maybe evolves a little bit, and you lose it a little bit. And I haven't watched it in a long time. I could definitely get back into it, but like I just said, there's so much stuff already in the queue, ready to be watched. Like you only got so many hours in the day, so he's got to have to wait in the queue, man. But there's so much stuff to watch, and as far as reality television, I'm a MTV The Challenge guy. That's my reality television competition right there. That's what I like. So And I've never gotten into so many you mentioned DFS guys who watch some of this stuff. Some of these guys are really into The Bachelor. I just can't get into that. I just can't do it. So I can't do that. But if I'm going to watch a reality television competition, it's going to be the challenge, season in and season out. That's definitely one of the things I'll watch.
I'm with you on The Bachelor in the fact that I can't. So I'll be watching some, and then it comes on, whatever I was watching the news, and it's on for about 2 minutes, and I'm like, this is just what people watch this? I don't get it. So
listen, you know what, people like this feeling, but I don't like this feeling, that cringe-worthy stuff. I can't stand the cringe-worthy moments. Can't do it, so I don't get into that.
Yeah, I'll leave The Bachelor, The Bachelorette to our DFS friends who seem to enjoy it, so that they can have that all they want. Now, the people have been listening. We're going on 50 minutes here, and the only reason they've listened this far, Chop, is they want to know what else was on that list. You talk some power washing, but we got to know what else is on the HeadChopper to-do list during an All-Star break.
I mean, it wasn't that much. I just wrote down, okay, I wanted to mow the yard. So I got the yard work done here the other day, knocked that out. I wanted to do the power washing. I still want to clean the floors in the house. I got the tile. I have a steam cleaner. So I want to steam clean. I do that once every 6 months or so. So I want to get that going because, the dog, I just noticed the other day, the dog had pissed in a couple spots. I got to get that. I got to take
care of that, Chop.
Bad dog, man. I don't know what's up with that. So the computer. I had to clean the computer. I wanted to clean the computer out, so I did that too. So,
all right.
Get
rid of those files.
Well, this is my work computer. The files would be on my. I'm sure nobody's listening. That would be on my iPad, but this is my work computer. But you still want to clear out all the Excel stuff and make it. Keep it nice and spruced up.
Okay. All right. Derek, anything on your all-star to-do list?
Oh, no, but I am a big fan of lists. If there's like 5 things I need to get done and I don't make a list, I'll forget 3 of them and we'll only do 1 of them. But there's something satisfying about either crossing it off with the pen or if it's on your phone, just deleting it off your list. There's something real satisfying about that.
I'm definitely a list guy as well. If it's not on a list, it's not happening. So there's too many things going on. You better write it down if you want anything done, anything from the store, anything, whatever it may be, you better write it down in this house or it's not happening. So, well, that will do us for this week. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoy the show, all we ask, go leave a review for the show on whatever podcast forum you listen to on YouTube. You can always click that thumbs up button. We will have some contests. We are working behind the scenes. Trust me, we're trying to get a few different things going. But we want to start off. We gave you the last couple weeks. We went over our season NFL wins, over-unders for each of us. We want you guys to send in yours as well. We want to run a contest with this. So keep an eye out on Twitter. Derek's going to send a tweet out with the instructions on how you enter this contest. We will figure out some great prizes with FanDuel on this. We will also have some other competitions throughout the season, hopefully a DFS one, where you can play against the 3 of us each and every week. But we want to reward you guys for hanging out with us and hanging out with the people at FanDuel here. So keep an eye out for that. I promise you we got things in the works here. So go check out Derek's Twitter. Derek, give out that Twitter handle for him. Is that RG_Notorious?
Yeah, that's it. And in some chats with the FanDuel guys, there's some big prizes being thrown around as potential, prizes that we can give out. So I'm excited for it. Basically for the contest, just, pick all your season win totals like we did on the show the last couple of weeks. You got to give us a 5-star review, screenshot it, send those 2 things to me. You guys will probably be retweeting it as well, so you can find it on any of our Twitters. And, I'll keep track of everything, and we'll give out some real good prizes at the end of the year.
But we're talking very good. Maybe biggest prizes ever given away in a podcast. I mean, just stay tuned for that. But love working with the people over at FanDuel, of course. Final thoughts here for the people. Chop, let's get over to you.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, guys, we're just goofing around right now, killing some time during the summer, but FanDuel sponsoring the show, and they're going to do it up. We're going to get some really good stuff going on here for the listeners, and all I can say is I'm not going to give away too much, but there's a pretty good chance if you win the big contest this year. All I'm saying is get your bags packed.
Oh, well, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's what they call a tease there, Chop. I like it. Derek, final thoughts here for the people.
Good luck in PGA, good luck in NBA, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Good luck in all your tournaments. Make sure you get those entries in over on FanDuel. Get your sportsbook bets in over there as well. And we want to thank them again for sponsoring the show. For Notorious, for HeadChopper, I am Beer saying salut. Best of luck, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next Wednesday. We are out.